Hi there. In this video, we have covered the agentic software development process. I've divided into three parts. The first part is about the supporting tools which may exist today, but we are not using them to the full potential. The second part is my own development process. How do I do it as of today? And the third part is about the agentic software development workflow, which, in my opinion, is the future. So, with that, let's get started.
Cool then. A fun fact, while I was preparing this presentation yesterday, I showed it to some of my friends who, again, with a similar tenure in software engineering. And some of them picked up some new things over this presentation, which I shared. And they were like, we never used it. And they actually used it tomorrow, yesterday, one or two things. And they loved it. They were like, this is a great insight. Uh, I was in belief that there are many things we don't know, we have not tried yet, or maybe we know we have not experimented yet. But when we use it and try it out, and then we see, oh, this can be actually helpful for us. Uh, so with that confidence, I'm coming into this session for you. Please stay with me and keep your open mind, across whatever I'm going to share you here, and apply to your life moving forward, and see what it helps you. So let's see what we're going to cover today. Um, I'm going to be covering supporting tools for the AI development. Uh, the AI, when it started 1 year back, 1.5 years back, it was a lot about the AI assistant development, right? We were the ID cursor was the very first ID which started everyone with. Copilot was there. That is a AI assisted development where you ask AI a lot of things, and then keep on prompting. Remember the prompt engineering part? Uh, the world has moved away from that very, very far. As of now, there are supporting tools which you can provide to the AI so that the AI can give you a better output. If you remember, if you say anything like AI giving sloppy code, AI doing some things, which you're like, oh, I can do better than that. I'm sure there are some missing tools over there which you can do and support for a better development. So we're going to cover that. I'm also going to cover my development process, the real actual one, covering the first part of the low cost one. From India, I can't compete with the exact US dollars spending all my cloud credits, but there are other ways as well for me to do the exact same thing or very similar to what Cloud Code, is able to provide. So actually, I'm going to be anti Cloud Code today. So this is going to be very interesting. It's a great product, but I'm going to give you the other products as well which can do a very, very similar job or close to that if you apply it at the right, pace to do it. And then I'm going to give you recipe, whatever I know and I've covered so far for an agentic workflow recipe. It is not AI assisted recipes. It is not giving power to AI more, to do a better job. It is the fully autonomous agentic workflow. Um, I have covered some of it in my workflow as well. And I believe there are some more things which I can do, which are exact possible today. Many people are doing it. Like, people are running agents and stuff. So I will give you the recipe and I will leave it to you. How do you apply it, and experiment with it at your end? Let's start with the supporting tools. So this is no brainer. And I've seen people. So some of my friends work in the service companies in India, and they use Copilot. And I tell them I hate that part because there are some models, the earlier models which were released, let's say 2 years back, 1.5 years back, 1 year back, they are old. If you want to do the complex thing, so if you are getting a bad output and you're spending a lot of time, it could be giving good output by the way by the end of it, but you're spending more time than it is required. The point is to use the latest models as much as possible, at least for the complex task. Of course, it is high cost, but I'm sure your company might be covering it if you're doing, a work for a company and everything else. But the thing the latest model provides you, it gives you, let's say there are reasoning models, thinking models. They have better output. Gemini 3 Pro is a little slower, but you get the Gemini 3 Flash, which again gives you a very, very fast output, stuff like that. So it saves you time, it gives you a better thinking and reasoning, and it gives you the latest power to what it can do. So try to use the latest models, do not fear them at all. And as much as you can, use them instead of using the old model and stuff. MCPs, this is a very interesting thing. It started maybe Some places are hype, some places are power, but I can give you a real analytics to what I do. And I've written this over here as well, as you can see. It's a customizable read and write tool access to your, let's say, database, which could be in Superbase or somewhere else, to your analytics, it could be Posthog, to your error monitoring system, which could be Sentry. What are the possible use cases with this? For example, Sentry, let's take the Sentry MCP, and you have to give only read access if you want to. Do not give the write access, if you do not trust in your company and production level. But at least from the read entry, if there is an issue in the Sentry which is logged in, it's reported to you, notified by you, and you want to debug it. You are going to do the same thing as a human to look at the logs, to look at the snapshots, look at the stack trace, and then analyze what is wrong. The same thing you could give the power to you AI. You could give the Sentry read access to it, ask it to debug this whole bug which came in, and try to figure out. The AI will fetch all the related information which are available there faster than you actually, including versions, including history, how many people reported there, and stuff like those. It will fetch all of this information, has the access to your code base, and then it will be able to give better output rather than you saying, oh, I got this bug in the sign up, please fix it. That simple prompt will not help you, and not will help AI actually. You need to give more access to the information, and the MCP is a very good way to do that. So if you're not using these, at least start trying it even with read access, not write access. I am sure there could be some issues with the write access, you're not trusting it, but start with the read access. There are customers. I will show you if you have the doubts on that. But that's MCP is very powerful, to give more context to your AI, to do things which you want to do. Next is on the IDs part. As I said in the starting, we started with cursor, and people are talking a lot about the Claude Code. But there are many more things. There is anti-gravity, a good ID. I will say it's a good agentic ID, to be honest. There's open code. Open code is where you can add all your different model providers. Maybe let's say you get a planning done with the high cost model like a Claude Code or GPT-5, and then you get implementation with a lower cost model. That is possible with the open code, different models. There's Codex available. Each of them has trade-offs, but I want you to at least a week, once a week, try another ID. Try one task with another ID. Please do that. I think so in this time of fast innovation, it's good for you to understand which tools are helpful for your use cases. You could be doing UI implementation, packet implementation, anything, whatever you're doing. And there are different tools, which helps you in different use cases. So do experiment with the IDs as much as possible. This is skills part, another very good thing. This is what I was telling my friend didn't knew beforehand. And the skills are nothing, just a instruction set of the prompts. And I can actually, let me show you the skills part. This is something where I would want people to start using it, definitely. So for example, you say that, the output from the AI is not great when you're doing the React code base, and it is doing a long file in app.tsx, not doing the exact composition, not doing a lot of doing use effects and stuff like those. Probably if you give it this skill of Versal React best practices, it will follow all of those optimizations, all of those better improvement things, which the AI should be doing in the first hand, so that you don't have to iterate again and again with your knowledge. So yeah, dump your knowledge smartness via help of these skills which are available out there. And there are many skills. It could be for React, it could be for React natives as well. Provide them into your code base, into your AI, any AI agent actually, and make them more smarter to do the things the better way which you actually want to do. So skills are great, to be honest. You should be using them like right now itself. If you're not doing them, please go. And this is the most priority thing among everything which I'm going to show in the sporting tools. Definitely use skills from my side. Planning mode. I hope this is many people are already doing it, but just to reiterate, in the chatbot IDs, if you are asking them to do some things and just letting them do it on their own, and you're feeling like your AI is not giving me the good results, probably you can plan with them beforehand. Like ask the AI chatbot, okay, implement me a sign up flow, but give me a plan for that. how do you going to do that? What are the tools you're going to use? It will give you a plan draft, and you and this is the first step only to get a plan draft. You want to iterate on top of that. You want to review that plan draft. You want to ask what are the alternatives. Very simple question. Ask the AI what are the alternatives for this TB. What are the alternatives for this connection which you are making. If you are using Google Cloud Project, what else can you do actually? What are the pros and cons of these things? Push the limit of AI, because it's bound to give you the faster response, right? It's bound to give you a better response as well. Consider we are using the latest model, but still there's some nuances in your context, which it may not know the future planning which you're doing. So do it with the plan mode, ask the alternatives, understand what it is giving you, and then figure out what you actually want to do. This happened with me actually 2 days back. I was implementing end-to-end tests, and the go-to thing is to do it with a playwright test, right? Uh, the AI chatbot gave me a plan with a tool called Stagehand. Stagehand is a tool to give you end-to-end tests by using LLM. But my problem is it's going to use my LLM credits every time it's running the test. You see the scale, if I'm running those tests every day for like every PR, 20 PRs out there, I'm using the LLM credits, and it's not doing something rocket science for me at least. I have the standard test. I'm not going to change it. So I really wanted the playwright to be used and not some new tool called Stagehand for my use case. That's where I asked for the alternatives, understand what is going through, and change the plan. So I didn't went ahead. But the Stagehand was optimized for the AI chatbot to get picked up. So that's the thing you need to understand with the planning mode. Please keep on asking alternatives and understand the nuances of all the sites, and then take a decision for your use case. Code quality systems. This is actually really good. If you're developing with the AI agents at your end, and then you're pushing the code, let's say you did it with the help of cursor, having a code quality system on top of that has basically a code quality system is a set of instructions. Okay, it's gonna check your code on different parameters from the security point of view, from the errors point of view, if there is some default value not provided, TypeScript point of view. Sometimes your AI agent on the local might not do that until unless you provide the skills. So there is a way to get local ID as well to do that with the skills which I mentioned you earlier. And I can actually show you that skills again, code review skills. So either use any online reviewer like Greptile or Bugbot, or you could also do some code review skills. Nothing fancy, but there's just a bigger prompt instead of you asking, hey, can you code review as a senior engineer? What's the definition of senior engineer? We don't know. So sometimes I've seen people prompting that as well. It works. I'm not going to say it's not going to work, but there are more details you can give in, and then there's these online skills available for you to give instruction set, so that you can get review. But review is important. Even if you have done with the AI code, the review is important, and not the manual review thing. Again, the AI review itself as well. Code verification system. This is the part where it gets very interesting, and it's a very good part of the recipe of the agentic workflow. So everyone had this AI chatbot IDs or the CLIs from last 1 or 2 years, where they could get help with the coding and stuff. And then there was some code quality system which came in, and stuff like those. Still, people had issues with the trust with the AI, and the reason is sometimes it deletes the existing functionalities or tailor the existing functionalities while trying to implement the new ones. And that's quite possible in case the code is not written the right way. Actually, I won't blame the code. I will say the verification systems are not there. Human can also do the same mistake. If there are no verification systems to guardrail the existing functionalities, it's bound to get broken one way or another, possibly either by human or by AI. Specifically in AI, you need this, you want this to have your speed again, because if you are doing a feature, let's say that's what people say a lot. I get the feature done by 30 minutes, and then I keep on verifying and updating it for the next 5 hours. The problem is we are missing the code quality systems. We are missing the code verification system so that it can automatically check it. Think about if we had some end-to-end tests, great end-to-end tests written. I could say implement this functionality, and then verify it with the existing system I had, and I can go somewhere. In 1 hour, if I come back, it's done without breaking anything in the past. So that's where all of these are coming very, very um, good and handy tools to bake in to still keep up the speed which you want to with the AI development. Okay. Before going further, Harshit, is there any question so far important in this
Yeah, no
tools?
questions so far. Folks, please feel free to add questions. We'll try to have an open Q&A at the end. Feel free to add questions, add context, and yeah, no questions, Ever. Back to you.
Cool. Okay, so these were the supporting tools. Again, reiterating, this is the thing. If you are not using, if you're not using some of these, I would encourage you start experimenting using MCPs, read access. If you don't trust the right, no worries at all. Definitely use skills. Keep experimenting. Maybe 1 week or another week, something with let's say open code codex or any new thing which comes in, which is being used by a lot of people. If you can't use, like say you can't use cloud code because of the credits, no worries, it's okay. But MCPs and skills are very, very important to use with any AI agent for sure, and the planning mode as well. Okay, now what is my development process as of today? So I use different tools out there. This is one of them as well. Google AI Studio. In case you didn't know, it gives me. I can tell you my personal opinion. Google AI Studio uses the same Gemini model which my anti-gravity IDE uses, but still it gives me a very good UI output. I have created my statements AI. That's a product which I made. I made another project, Share Money, in the last 3 months only. I got a very better UI website or web app, from the Google AI Studio itself. I could not do it locally. I don't know why, but I think it's focused a lot on getting very good UI, especially Gemini models as well. But with the Google AI Studio, I think it's a pro thing going on there. So you should definitely try it out. You can import your existing code base, a small project or something, or you can initiate a new project as well, and you can give references to other ones. Uh, there are other apps, Lovable and all of those, but I think you should definitely try Google AI Studio for the UI if you are working on that. Anti-gravity cursor ID, I use both of them as of now. As I told you, I'm a little anti-cloud credit, cloud cloud. But yeah, I do not use that CLI as much. Now I'm starting using with the complex task, but I think with the okay, background context. I work with web applications a lot and a bit of the mobile applications. In the web, the UI is major thing for me, and I want to see changes and love changes and stuff like those. There are people who do ID, there are people who do CLI. I love ID more and more. So that's what I'm doing today. Maybe tomorrow it could be something else. Um, Cloud Code and Codex, I have. If I'm giving you advice to experiment, that should start with me as well. And I have started experimenting with these in the last 1 month only, actually, very actively. Uh, and I've seen that they are like the new models, GPT-5 and Opus 4.6. They are good at the complex requirement or complex code base, I would say. There are things which are not available in the internet exactly in the way, not optimized for the AI agent. But some of the cloud code and codecs in the iteration, it's able to get. For example, I was looking at the performance task. The cloud code and the codecs were figuring out where the high bottleneck is. Anti-gravity was optimizing for where the quickest it can do the work. You see the difference. I want the impact one higher, the major impact where it can come for. And the cloud code and codecs were looking at the numbers more specifically. Anti-gravity, I gave the numbers, but it still didn't look at it or ignored it a little bit here and there with the Gemini model. So these cloud code and codecs, I think, are optimized for that number approach or the complex tasks and stuff. We ask even questions like that. So do try it out for those. I do myself, at least for the complex tasks. Then we have cursor agent. I know this is very insane for my use case so far. I encourage anyone and everyone who works in software engineering, try it out, work on it. This is something I started 6 months back. it's a cloud dev agent for you to work on. Simple TLDR is, I was at my barber one day and I was still able to get the coding or get the tickets done, at least, get a PR raise from them with the help of just chatting in my phone. There is nothing on my system running on. It clones my GitHub repo. It works on it, planning and stuff, and it executes the code, and I can ask it to raise the PR. So that when I come back from my barber shop, I can review it. I can see the test. If I've written an end-to-end test, that's great. You don't even have to verify that. But yeah, I at that point of time, I was not having the end-to-end test. So I came back, I verified stuff. It worked, it looked nice actually. It was a good model execution. And now coming back from that 6 months time period, I use it many a times when I'm at the party, when I'm at the friend's place and stuff like those. This is a one-shot execution. I'm gonna tell you in the agentic workflow recipe why sometimes first shot executions are good to have. Not I'm saying fully merge it as soon as possible, but to start the work parallel, to like a thinking around. I will tell you more on this coming further. But this is great. You should definitely try it if you are not doing it as of now. Start using it a little bit. Then we have OpenClaw, recently launched, the top highest GitHub stars it got so far. I have configured it for my social media automations. Okay. I have create a AI profile over LinkedIn. It also manages my statements AI, Twitter and LinkedIn handle, post stuff, comments around, look for the notifications, do stuff like those. And in the past 1 or 2 weeks, I have also started it with the auto pickup of my to-do tickets. The last night, if I come up with some features, I write it down with my, let's say, Linear or Jira. The next morning, OpenClaw, without me asking, is going to launch, understand what are the open tickets in the to-do, implement them, raise the PR, and give it back to me for the the further review. That's amazing. Like in your day-to-day workflow, if someone gets assigned of tickets and your agent on the next morning or instantly could be as well can pick up those tickets and work for you with a very high confidence, in case you have seen that, that's the majority of the work done automatically. You're not even asking for it or sitting on your laptop and then doing it one by one. That's happening in parallel in the background. So yeah, try it out. I actually do try it out, and do experiment with this for sure. Do not miss this, all of these things if you are not using them. But that's my development process as of now. And in future, it's going to be changing because, these things are coming more handy now than it was earlier. Okay, we are coming to the end of it. I kept the talk very small, crisp, and without any nonsense. But I really wanted you to know what are the tools you can do, try it out today. What is my development workflow so that I preach what I say. And you can ask me anything on those things, at least for sure. I can give you the answer with the confidence. Now, coming to the end, the last thing is the recipe for the agentic development workflow. Take it with a pinch of salt, but I believe in this for sure, and that's why I want to share you at least what I know, what I believe can happen, and you think around, with your mind, open minds, and see an experiment and see if it can work for you or not. So background AI workers, as I mentioned with the cursor agents, now that we have Claude as well, which runs in the background, Codex also which runs in the background, and then there's an OpenClaw. All of these can run in the background at when you ask for, or maybe even without you asking, just looking at connected with your Jira, Linear, or any other board, to-do task board, and pick up items from there and do some work for you. Maybe they could do planning for you if you want that. If you're comfortable with that, just do the planning and share it with me, and you can come up with review of that plan and then start implementing it, and then verifying it. So all of this process, it's on you. How do you want to do it? But these are the technicalities which are possible today. So yeah, background AI worker, having that in agentic development workflow, I think it's a good point. Having your powerful AI dev stack. Remember, we started with the supporting of the tools which will make our AI output better. The term which we use, AI sloppy code, it's not there anymore if you are using a lot of the tools required for it, to get the work done. So skills to get a better output, MCPs to get a better data to understand what exactly happening around in production, in code base and stuff like those. What is the structure of the DB? What are the migrations already executed? What are the new issues coming in? All of that information. Planning mode in case you want to be human in the loop, in the planning and the review of that. Um, Code quality verification systems, both of these can be still automated. I don't think so. You should be doing the verification systems while you have the test which you can write end-to-end stuff. So if that is already possible, why not just bake it in your code base and get this out of the way so that you don't spend 30 minutes coding and then 5 minutes verifying. Do not do that. I think so. So yeah, this is Powerful AI DevStack plus background worker. Great combination for the agentic development workflow. And then the cron job. What I like about in the OpenClaw any background stuff is it's a scheduled job, like coming in the morning, coming every 2 hours, coming every 15 minutes. It checks on what needs to be done. It picks up then things, in the background AI workers, get all of those power tools which it has and complete the job. Um, all of these 3 points combined together gives you the agentic development workflow, autonomous workflow, where you might be on the side or you might be the owner of it, and your agents are doing the work at the right time always. So yeah, tune these system, bake the system, tune the system, connect different things, deploy them. You will have to monitor and fix. Do not be in the picture that once this is done or it's going to be great and stuff. No, it needs still monitoring. It needs some fixing. The way we did software SaaS products earlier, we used to still monitor in the what do we say, in the pipelines, right? We used to fix things still. The same thing is going to happen over here as well. So do not think that it's taking the coding or the job of yours away. It's giving you a new job to monitor it and fix it, the issues and stuff, and tune it, every time now and then, so that it gives the output which you desire from it. Oh, let me actually show you. So I promised myself that I'm going to show you the setup of for the OpenClaw, at least how I work with it. And if you see this is my assistant server. Everything what I'm doing here around social media, statement AI, you can see different channels. I did this to have different context of information what I was talking to, different tasks working in parallel. For example, here I was working with the statement AI performance issues, and here I was working with the SEO part. This is the social media where I've been, tuning it and getting things done and stuff like those. And this is general and admin stuff, which keeps on happening around here. I am still early in this. I think so people have been very, very far in this stage as well, running so many, agents together and stuff. But yeah, this is something, excites me a lot, and it gives me a very close version of the agentic development workflow, which I've been talking here. And I would encourage you to try it out, try as many things which you learn over here, get into your, daily workflow, daily setup, and see how it gives you the response. And I'm happy to answer any questions in case you have. Yeah, that's it from my side. I hope you have a nice and safe agentic future. But yeah, that's all the information from my side.